tossers have thrown it out the door with their behaviour this week. They should be ashamed of themselves. They should absolutely look at themselves in the mirror and wonder what the have they been doing. They're hissing at us and calling us cheats in the Lord's long room, and they have the gall to say, talk to us about the spirit of cricket. Absolute bullshit. There's a big appeal, it's hit him on the pad, he's out! Lions gone, New South Wales are 9 down, onto Sydney Road, and it's hit a car! Oh, I think it's hit a car! What a way to bring up your 50!
All you want is to leave it all behind. Now there is a simple remedy to stay fit for all eternity.
Oh, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Cricket Unfiltered podcast. I am Manners, and I'm here to review day 2 of the third test versus the West Indies. What a good time this day-night test match is on for Aussies. First ball's been at 4:30 a.m, so very early start yesterday morning on Sunday, and early start this morning, so able to watch pretty much both full days of cricket, and finishing around lunchtime. It's much better than a midnight first ball. So I think the Australians have been enjoying it, the Australian fans around the country. And you would have to say, though, that this test match is going to be over very quickly. 26 wickets have fallen in 2 days, 15 wickets fell today, and Australia are on course to win this series 3-0. So West Indies resumed today at 1 for 16. They went on to be all out for 143. Then at stumps, Australia are 6 for 99, effectively 181 ahead with 4 wickets in hand. Well, not effectively, they are 181 ahead with 4 wickets in hand. And I would say, judging by the West Indies batting effort today, that 181 is already too many for the West Indies. Interestingly, Shamar Joseph was asked afterwards what the team could chase, and he said probably the West Indies can chase anything under 200. Well, they need to take the last 4 wickets pretty quickly then, and maybe Shamar Joseph shouldn't have said that, because if the Australians get 210, 220 in front, does that mean the West Indies don't think they can win? But regardless, I don't think it'll be a chase from the West Indies. I think this game will be over on the third day, and I can see Australia just running through the West Indies very, very quickly. I'd love to be wrong. I'd love for the West Indies to put up a fight, and if they do keep it to under sort of 200 or around 200, you just need one player to have a bloody good day out, and the West Indies could get very close. So let's see. But all in all, Australia have dominated in very tough conditions for the bat. This whole series has been tough conditions for the bat, and today was no different, both during the daylight hours and then in that last session, Australia lost 6 wickets. Shamar Joseph said they wanted to take 7 wickets, and they could have, because Pat Cummins gloved one to the wicketkeeper and they didn't appeal. And I think, Shy Hope, you're the wicketkeeper, that's your fault. That is 100% your fault. If you think that's caught the glove, you've got 3 reviews. You're the one in the best position. You've got to be pushing for a review. And, Cummins is a real pest. He can hang around. And already Green and Cummins have added 30 runs. So they could have nipped this partnership in the bud very early. But instead, again, the West Indies, they've shown signs with their fast bowling of having some spirit and some ability. But everything else has been goddamn awful. I mean, their batting today was atrocious. And I want to single out one person. I don't like to do this, but Mikhail Lewis on Test Taboo played one of the worst shots I've seen from a Test player. He was on 7 of 29 deliveries when he played this shot. He just tried to hit Hazelwood over mid-wicket for 6, for no reason, just swung straight across the line, played a terrible shot. It was a bad shot in T20 cricket. You'd say, oh, you could probably do better than that. But in Test cricket, it was abysmal. And, a lot of poor shots from the West Indies today. And no one showed any fight. John Campbell was the best of them. He made 36, and he was out shouldering arms. It's funny, he's been out playing all these stupid, extravagant shots during the series, and he shoulders arm to Boland, and Boland got one to nip back to the left-hander, and he was out for 36. Shy Hope made 23. Justin Greaves, 18. Roston Chase, 18. But it was just a very poor effort from the West Indies with the bat. And, people are sort of questioning whether Australia will ever go to the West Indies again. They're asking whether Australia will ever play the West Indies again because of the possibility of two-tier Test cricket. And I have to say, this series hasn't been a good ad for Test cricket, and it hasn't been a good ad to keep the West Indies in Tier 1 Test cricket if it happens, because although the West Indies have shown fight with the ball, Australia have not had to really get out of second or third gear to be up 2-0 in the series. Australia has got a misfiring top order. They're obviously great bowling attack, but I don't feel that Australia's bowlers have ever been pushed. None of the West Indies batters have really made the bowlers work hard. And, this attack has shown in the past that if you can keep them out there for long enough, there are, like any other attack, chinks in the armour. So, I just don't think this has been a great ad for Test cricket so far. The West Indies batting is pathetic. And I don't know if you'd be arguing against two-tier Test cricket, having watched this. I mean, wouldn't you rather watch Australia play the better sides more? I'm just posing the question. I love the West Indies. I love West Indies cricket, but just what we saw today, their fielding, they could have had Cameron Green run out twice today, and their fielding was like schoolboy cricket. Just the fielder would just pick up the ball and ping at the stumps, like without even thinking, how he's going to run the player out. I mean, this was just, when Shamar Joseph, Alzari Joseph, and Jaden Seals don't have the ball and aren't performing, everything else looks very, very poor from the West Indies. So, they battled through the first session. They got to 3 for 73 at the first break, and you're thinking there maybe they can challenge Australia's a total of 225, and then it was just a procession of wickets. They lost 7 for 70. As I said, Campbell was out to Boland, Mikhail Lewis, that awful, abysmal shot, and they just fell away very, very quickly. For Australia, the best bowler was Scott Boland. He took 3 for 34. Cummins 2 for 24. Hazelwood 2 for 32. Stark 1 for 32, and Webster 1 for 15. A couple of things for the Australians. Alex Carey dropped a couple of catches, one off Mitchell Stark and another one a little bit later on. And concerning for Carey, he's dropped 4 catches in the last 4 Test matches, batting very well. Of course, I'd never look at dropping Alex Carey, but he'd be disappointed with those high standards. And Stark looked annoyed. I mean, he's now three or 4 wickets away. I think he's 4 wickets away now from 400 Test wickets. That would have left him 3 wickets away. Maybe it's a milestone he just wants to tick off. But yeah, Australia just weren't pushed. I mean, this West Indies batting effort was very, very poor. Justin Greaves was run out. That's right, for 18, going for a third when was really never on, especially when, if you look at the replays, not even running hard the first 2. So if you're looking to turn like a 2.5 into 3, you've got to really be motoring from those first 2. So yeah, just West Indies just not doing the 1%ers right, and in the end conceded a big lead of 81 on the first innings. And then it was time for the Australian top order horror show to get going. And Constas was caught for a duck. I mean, unfortunate for him, horror series for him. Caught off Joseph in the gully for a duck off 5 deliveries. So that left his series. He's played 6 innings. It's got a grand total of 50 runs with an average of 8.33. I mean, it couldn't have gone worse for Paul Constas. Not easy batting conditions, not at all in any of the Test matches, but this is worst case scenario for the selectors. They banked on this being a good little series to bed Constas in before the Ashes, and it hasn't worked, and we're going to have to go back to the drawing board and find possibly 2 new openers. Khawaja was out. He was out for 14, bowled by Joseph. And another horror series for him, 117 runs at 19.5. So I think, a bad series for Khawaja, and I think he'll be on the chopping block as well. So that left Australia, 2 for 19. That brought Steve Smith to the crease. He was bowled. Strange shot, playing wide of the stumps, trying to smash it through the covers, got an inside edge onto pads and then onto stumps. Australia 3 for 28. And I do think Australia have been a bit spooked in this test match, that you just can't bat under lights. I think you can bat under lights. I mean, I've seen teams in the past battle through night sessions against the pick ball. I mean, it's not impossible. And the conditions here, whilst being friendly for the bowlers, I do think Australia have been spooked by the conditions. Travis Head was out for 16. Then Bo Webster was out when the score was 69. That brought Alex Carey to the crease. Webster looked good, actually, in his 13. He hit a couple of nice shots, but again, he was bowled by Joseph. And that brought Alex Carey to the crease, who was pinged first ball, smashed in the head. And there was a long delay. And then he was out 2 balls later, caught charging Joseph, caught in the slips, trying to charge Alzarri Joseph. And that made the score 6 for 69. So Joseph taking 2 wickets in that over. That brought Cummins to the crease. And as I said, he managed to survive what would have been out, caught down the leg side, but not appealed. So he and Cameron Green have got through to stumps. And Cameron Green made 46 in the first innings. He's 42 not out of 65 deliveries and has played superbly in these conditions. He's looked a terrific player, and he is a very good test player, but I'm still not sure 3's his spot, especially when he comes back to bowling a lot. But he has looked very good in this last session. Some great drives through the covers. And it's interesting, when he uses his height to his advantage, he's very good. He can take a big stride out to those deliveries and smack him down the ground or through covers. But early on in his innings, his height is a bit of a disadvantage because he can get a bit clunky and a bit slow moving. So, yeah, he's just got to learn to start a bit better and sort of start with that sort of light on the feet footwork that we saw in this last session. But look, tough conditions. Balls were bouncing off a length. The West Indies were on fire. Alzarri Joseph took 3 for 19 in that last session, and they could have had Cameron Green run out, as I said twice, but they messed that up, and that could prove costly. So, yeah, look, all in all, I think Australia well in front. I can't see the West Indies getting above 150 in their second innings the way this game is going. But I guess the advantage for the West Indies is if they can knock over Australia early, then they will do most of their batting during the daytime where things are slightly easier. So that would give them the best chance. But a dominant performance from the bowlers in this test match so far. Hard to see it being any different tomorrow. Yeah, good return to test cricket for Scott Boland with 3 wickets. But all in all, this series is, coming to an end, and pretty forgettable series all in all. It's, been played in poor batting conditions, and I don't think that's done a lot for the series. I think it's just sort of, as I said, this is not a good ad for test cricket. If you want to say, let's play more test cricket against the smaller nations, I wouldn't be showing them tape from this series. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. Should all be over on day 3. So set your alarms for nice and early tomorrow morning if you're in Australia, 4:30 first ball. And I think there'll be a lot of action and could all happen very quickly.